Hello, this is Ron Aledo. Today, July 14, apparently President Trump, have sided with the globalists, with the neocons. Apparently, as far as the Russia-Ukraine war, Trump apparently is siding with the normal establishment of the Republican Party, siding with Graham, with Kennedy, with Cotton, with all these neocons, with the establishment, the Russophobic establishment. So, is that so? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe this, maybe some kind of strategy, maybe some kind of game that Trump is playing. Let's get involved now real hard. So 2 months from now, we can disengage. We can just wash our hands, Pontius Pilate style. We gave them patriots. We tried to push Putin to surrender, and he didn't want to surrender. We gave them weapons. We tried. We were tough. But this is not my war. This is Biden's war. So I'm out of here. Maybe. Who knows? Perhaps. I cannot read President Trump's mind. I don't know what his real intentions are. I don't know what his real strategy here is. So let's go and let's suppose that what the press is publishing is true. Let's say that Trump is finally siding with the globalists, with the neocons. Let's assume that is the reality here. Okay, so what's next? I always said Trump has a little angel on his shoulder and a little demon in the other shoulder. Okay, and they are both talking to him. The little demon is Graham, Cotton, Kennedy, Fox News, the establishment of the Republican Party, the Russophobic, the neocons, the globalists, the military industrial complex, talking to Trump about how evil Russia is, how much of a hero Zelensky is and Ukraine is, and it's our project. We have been spending hundreds of billions of dollars in Ukraine, Project Ukraine. We did our color revolution, soft coup in February 2014. We spent billions of dollars in anti-Russian propaganda. It's ours. It's our project. It's our pet project. We cannot let it go. We had invested, I don't know, over 20 years, billions of dollars, and obviously with the war, hundreds of billions of dollars in our pet project, in having Ukraine siding with us against Russia, having Ukraine in the future be part of the European Union and be part of NATO, so we can station our troops in Ukraine in the future and sideline Russia. It was our big project for the last 20, 25 years. No NATO expansion is complete without Ukraine. We have been expanding since 1991, but I don't care. Since 1996, 97, when Clinton decided, hey, let's go and expand this. And Clinton did it, believe it or not, because he thought he will win the votes of the American people of Hungarian descent, of Polish descent. He needed those votes, those precious votes in 1996 in the elections. So ever since, they have been expanding nonstop. against what Baker said back in, I think it was 1991. They have been expanding, but no expansion is complete without Ukraine. Ukraine is the big jewel, is the big part of this puzzle, and we need it. So apparently that's what the demon in Trump's shoulder is telling him. There is an angel in the other shoulder, Tulsi Gabbard, amazing woman, extremely smart, sharp. Vance, Vice President Vance, and the voices of the MAGA crowd, the true American patriots, the true American first people, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all that people is telling him, what the hell are you doing? This is a neocons war. This is a globalist war. It's not our war. We provoked Russia for over 25 years with our expansion. We did our color revolution with the help of MI6, with the help of the CIA. We did our color revolution, our soft coup. Just 2 months after Russia and Ukraine signed peace on the 17th of December of 2013, they signed and agreed for peace and economic aid and reduced gas prices, etc. Just 2 months after Russia and Ukraine signed peace and love forever, we did our color revolution. We did our soft coup, the sharp program, soft coup, color revolution, regime change in Ukraine. And ever since, Ukraine have been a puppet of the West, have been our pet project, but it's not ours. We are American first. We are MAGA. We don't care about what the globalist plans are. We don't care about what the neocons plans are. Russia is not communist anymore. There is no Warsaw Pact anymore. There is no communist empire anymore. Russia had been removing communism from its ideology and placing Orthodox Christianity as foundation of the Russian state. There is no conflict. There is no ideological conflict. What are you doing, Trump? Don't stop listening to the Grahams and to the Cottons and to the Kennedys and to the neocons and to Fox News and to all these neocons globalists. Stop it. But again, the angel and the little demon in the shoulder. And apparently, for what had been happening for the last days or last week, apparently Trump is siding with the little demon, with the globalists, with the neocons, with the Russophobic faction, with the establishment of the Republican Party. So apparently that is what is happening. What does it mean? First of all, if that's true, if true, means that Trump is frustrated. Yes, he's frustrated because he thought, I don't know why or how, he thought that his charisma, his personality, his personal magnetism, his personal charm will force Vladimir Putin to surrender. Basically, that's it. And Donald Trump, I have this amazing charm, this amazing personality, this magnetism. Whoever I talk to is, they will do almost like a Jedi power. I talk to somebody and that person, I will make them submit to my will. That doesn't work with Putin. This is what we need to understand. Putin have always been in the negotiation table. Always, always. Immediately when this war began, Putin sent a delegation to make peace in February and March of 2022 in Istanbul. March of 2022, Putin sent a delegation over there to end the war. Just 2-3 weeks into the war, the plan was to finish it. And the terms that Putin wanted were kind of very soft, very easy, very acceptable. Neutrality for Ukraine. Ukraine have to be neutral. It cannot be a puppet of NATO, of the MI6, of the CIA. of the globalists. You have to be a buffer between Russia and NATO. You have to be kind of this natural buffer, separation. And obviously, Putin wanted freedom for the Ukrainians of the south and the east. Because you need to understand, the Ukrainians from the south and the east, they see themselves as Russians. They see Novorossiya, they see the Donbass, they see the south of Russia, the east of Russia, I'm sorry, the south of Ukraine, the east of Ukraine, as part of Russia, a historical part of Russia. They see themselves as Russia. They have family in Russia. They speak Russian. They are members of the Russian Orthodox Church. They are loyal to the Patriarch of Moscow. That people is completely different to the northwest Ukrainians, the Ukrainians of the northwest. That people have not ties to Russia. They don't speak Russian. They are mostly descendants of Polish. They are linked to Hungary by history, to the Austria-Hungarian Empire, to a big chunk of Poland that was removed from Poland and given in this Frankenstein country called Ukraine after the Second World War. That people is completely different from the people from the south and the east of Ukraine that see themselves as Russian, that speak Russian, that have family in Russia, that believe that that part of Ukraine is actually Russia. So Putin's term in March of 2022 were kind of easy, were very acceptable. But remember, at that time is when Boris Johnson and Biden, they send a message very clear to Zelensky: do not do peace, keep doing war. Boris Johnson flew to in emergency to Kiev to persuade, actually to order Zelensky, do not do peace, do not sign peace in Istanbul now in March of 2022. Do war, keep going with the war. We're going to give you infinite money, infinite weapons. At the end, you will win by force, by weapons. That is what happened back in March of 2022. And after that, 3 years ago, Russia have suffered a lot of casualties, dozens of thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands of casualties, and they have lost hundreds of billions of dollars in material, in casualties, in economic sanctions. It have been suffering a lot of casualties and a lot of loss of material and human life, etc. Now, of course, Russia is not going to accept the terms of March 2022 of Istanbul. Now, Russia wants more, a lot more of what they demanded back in March 2022 in Istanbul, Turkey. So that is something that Putin is very firm, of course. We have lost a lot. It cost us a lot for the last 3 years. Now we want a lot more. Now we want a lot more of territory. Now we want a lot more of terrain of Ukraine. Now we want to get Odessa. Now we want all the nuclear plants in the south, and we want Kherson, and we want perhaps everything east of the Dnieper River. Who knows? But they want more. The terms of March 2022 of Istanbul, they're gone. They're completely gone. They were a once-in-a-lifetime chance. And Zelensky said no. So that is the issue. Trump thought he was under the wrong impression that his personal charisma, that his personal charm, that his magnetism will make Putin surrender. And that's not the case. What's going to happen now? If true, if this is what really is happening, the only thing this is going to do is extend the war 6 months, perhaps a year more. But eventually, the end result is going to be the same. Russia is going to win this war. There is no other way. And this is the problem of what the neocons and the globalists don't understand. This is the catch-22. This is the great paradox that they cannot think about. How do you defeat a nuclear superpower fighting an existential critical war? How? You don't. You can't. It's impossible. It's a contradiction in terms. This is not an optional war for Russia. The neocons, the globalists, the Russophobe, they think that this war is like Vietnam for the United States. This war is like Afghanistan for the Soviet Union. If we try, if everything is okay, we stay. But if everything is not okay, then we pack and we go home and that's it, no problem. That is an optional war. That is what happened to the United States in Vietnam. That is what happened to the Soviet Union in Afghanistan. Optional wars. If it's okay, I stay. If it's not okay, then I go home, no problem. I pack my bags, I pack and we go home, no problem. End of story. That's it. No, 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 no. Who is doing the thinking of the neocons? Who is doing the thinking of the globalists? This is not an optional war for Russia. This is a critical existential war for Russia, and Russia must win this war at all costs. Russia is not going to back down. The plan of the globalists was to use Ukraine as a useful idiot, as cannon fodder, to weak Russia in the military field, then use the sanctions to destroy Russia in the economical field, to destroy the Russian economy, and then use some kind of puppet like Navalny, rest in peace, to do a color revolution, regime change, a soft coup, and that's it. Then break Russia in 15 little countries, and that's it. We're done with Russia. That's it. No more competition, no more foe in Europe, Eurasia. Now we can concentrate in China and destroy China next. That was the plan. That was the master plan of the neocons. But obviously, they do not understand that this is an existential war for Russia, and you cannot defeat a nuclear superpower fighting an existential critical war. That's the big catch-22. That's the big paradox that the neocons, the globalists, cannot compute in their brains. How can you make the United States back down in 1962 when the Soviets placed the missiles in Cuba? You can't. You can't. That was an existential critical thing for the United States, to remove those missiles from there at all costs. So the same, this is an existential critical issue for Russia, winning this war. And the only thing they're going to do, the neocons, the globalists, is escalate, escalate, escalate. For everything that they do, Russia is not going to back down. Russia is going to escalate further, and escalate further, and escalate further, and further, and further, and further. That is why I said, and I always have been saying, they are playing with fire, with nuclear fire, with mutual assured destruction. You cannot defeat a nuclear superpower fighting an existential critical war. But we defeat Germany in 1945. We defeat Germany in an existential critical war. We can do it with Russia. Okay, you did it with Germany in 1945. Good. Germany was not a nuclear superpower in 1945. But we defeated in Afghanistan. Okay, you defeat the Soviet Union in Afghanistan. Good. Afghanistan was not a critical existential war for the Soviet Union. But it happened to us. It happened to the United States in Vietnam. We were defeated in Vietnam and we left Vietnam. Okay, cool. Vietnam was not a critical existential war for the United States. Russia is a nuclear superpower with over 6,000 nuclear weapons and space gliders and hypersonic missiles and ICBMs. And two, this war in Ukraine is critical existential war for Russia. There are only two outcomes. total and complete victory of Russia or the end of the war. That's it. Just like Tulsi Gabbard just warned a few weeks ago. Look at Tulsi Gabbard's video. Nuclear war is possible. Armageddon, the day of judgment, is possible. Mutual assured destruction is possible. That is what people like Piers Morgan don't understand. The logic fails. They believe that this war is optional. An optional war just like Vietnam was for the United States or Afghanistan was for the Soviet Union. No, this is a critical existential war, and you can either have a Russian complete total victory or you can have the end of the war. Because this, the only way that Russia is going to be looking forward is escalating, 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 escalating. Russia have not declared war yet. It can declare war. Russia have not mobilized 2 to 3 million soldiers. It can mobilize 2 to 3 million soldiers. Russia have not been using ICBMs with non-nuclear loads to destroy the Ukrainian army at the front in the battlefield. But Russia can do that. Russia has not been using small tactical nuclear weapons in the battlefield, in the front to destroy the Ukrainian army. But Russia will do that. If pushed to the corner, if pushed into desperation, is pushed into immediate defeat or a catastrophic end, they will do it. And Russia, of course, have not been using strategic nuclear weapons against the cities, the big cities of NATO, of the United States, of Berlin, Chicago, New York, Washington, D.C., London, Paris. They haven't. But trust me, if they are going down, they will use it. This is like the great Pat Buchanan, advisor of Reagan and advisor of Nixon, said, do not push Russia into desperation. Do not push Russia into a corner. Do not try to humiliate and destroy Russia, because then Russia might use the Samson option. And the Samson option is, I'm going down, I'm going to be destroyed, I'm going to die. Cool, no problem, I will. But you are coming with me. I'm not going to die alone. I'm not going to be destroyed alone. You are coming also with me. That's what Samson did. I'm going to die. This is my last day. Cool, no problem. Hey, but all of you here in this temple, you are coming down with me. I'm going to destroy the columns and the temple, and we all going to die here. It's a lot better. It's a lot easier. It's a lot of a better option to be destroyed and killed together with your enemies than to be destroyed and killed alone. That is the Samson option. Again, how can you defeat a nuclear superpower fighting an existential critical war? How? You can't. You don't. And if you push it, then what you're going to have is Armageddon. What you're going to have is mutual assured destruction. Moscow is going to be evaporated. St. Petersburg, evaporated. Most of the Russian cities, Vladivostok, evaporated. All of the cities on Vladikavkaz, evaporated. All of the cities, all of the main cities, they will be evaporated, destroyed. Putin is going to be evaporated and destroyed, of course. But guess what? Berlin also is going to be evaporated. New York City is going to be evaporated. Paris is going to be evaporated. Gone. Washington, D.C., gone. London, gone. Liverpool, gone. Rome, gone. Frankfurt, gone. Evaporated. Warsaw, gone. Evaporated. That's what we call mutual assured destruction. Both are destroyed. Both are killed. That is what the neocons don't understand. That's what the globalists don't understand. That's why, well, these intellectual yet idiots like the great Nicholas Nassim calls them, they don't understand, these intellectual yet idiots, They don't understand that you cannot defeat a nuclear superpower in a critical existential war, because the only thing you're going to get is destroy the world. Hundreds of people will die within weeks. I mean, hundreds of millions of people, I'm sorry, will die within weeks. And perhaps 5 billion people will die within a couple of years because of the nuclear winter. There's not going to be food. There's going to be, everything is going to be destroyed. 5 billion people within years. Is that what you're looking for, Mr. Trump? Is that what you want, really? Biden part 2? Biden light part 2? Siding with the neocons, siding with the Russophobes, with the globalists? Really? What about your base, Mr. Trump? What about the MAGA? What about the Patriots? What about America First? What about them? Don't betray them, Mr. Trump. Don't fall for their stupid rhetoric. Don't fall for their illogical rhetoric. That's all I have to say. Let's see. Let's wait. Apparently, Trump is siding now with the neocons, with the globalists. Let's see. Let's wait. I hope not. I hope this is some kind of trick, some kind of strategy that is going to change within a few months, within 2 months. But for sure, if Trump is doing it, the only thing he's going to do is extend the war. Extend this war 6 months or a year, but eventually the end result is going to be the same. At some point, the Ukrainian front will collapse. The Ukrainian front is getting thinner and thinner and thinner by the month. And at some point, the whole Ukrainian front is going to collapse. It's happened like in when you have a rubber band in your hand. You have that rubber band and you extend it until you cannot extend it more. Boom, it breaks. That is what is going to happen to the Ukrainian front. And these weapons and the Patriots and all these billions of dollars pumping it into the Ukrainian army, the only thing they're going to do is extend the suffering, get a few more hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian dead, and a lot more of the Ukrainian country destroyed, of the industrial base, or their mines, or their factories destroyed. At the end, Russia is going to take whatever they want to take on the battlefield. The only thing I can suggest to Mr. Trump, the only thing I can suggest to all the good common sense politicians out there is stop this. Cut the weapons to Ukraine. Cut the supplies to Ukraine. And this war will end within months. That's it. And that is a lot better. Hundreds of times better than escalate until we go to a nuclear war, a nuclear holocaust. And that is the fire that the neocons and the globalists are playing right now. Thank you very much for your attention. Please subscribe to the channel. Please give a like to this video. Thank you very much.